JR, which do you trust more? Human intelligence or artificial intelligence?
That's a loaded question. I would say human intelligence because the artificial stuff is developed by humans.
Oh.
I got that dish.
Fruit bomb.
I got that.
Yeah, I get it.
I got that dish.
That's some facts. Guy just told some facts.
Dish.
Maybe.
I got that dish. I got that. I got that dish. That dish.
Hey, y'all. It's Onika.
And JR?
And you are dishing with Dainty Dish. How you doing, JR?
I'm a little parched. Yeah, not anymore now.
Okay.
Though. I don't think I pronounced the T there.
I actually concur with that.
Okay. Well, now that I'm fully
Hydrated.
I can pronounce my letters. So I'm doing well. How are you?
Ooh, it was a trying day in the life of Onika.
And I'm sure you're going to tell us about it.
I can't, actually, because of confidentiality reasons. So,
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, you're not going to hear about it.
Oh.
I'm just going to say that
So a contract shuts you up.
contracts shut me up, ladies and gentlemen. But, I'm just feeling a little exhausted mentally, physically, and emotionally today. But I'm happy to be here.
Cool.
I actually saw my psychiatrist today. It was mental health day. And he's going to be running some tests, making sure my lithium levels are good. But he asked me an interesting question. He asked me if I was going to be connecting with the cognitive behavioral therapist that is temporarily taking over the position, the one that I broke up with. And I actually told him I was going a different route. I was going to go the e-mental health route for a little while.
Is that the easy route?
It's the route of least resistance. It's the path of least resistance. I find with, and this is what the human intelligence versus artificial intelligence is about. I find with my ex psychologist, I didn't get a lot of active support. It was more passive. So my old therapist, I liked a lot of assignments. And she used to send me emails where I'd have to take surveys, and she'd track my depression and my anxiety. And so essentially, before I even knew what eHealth was, I was involved in eHealth through the use of this application called Greenspace. And so basically, as we went through our therapy, as I said, I'd get an email every day, and it would be about 12 to maybe 15, 20 questions, and I just quickly answer them. She'd get the data, and then she'd let me know, as of last year around this time, you were not depressed, according to the statistics. So I thought that was pretty cool. So
by e-health, I just want to clarify, you mean electronic health, right?
Electronic health.
Okay, cool.
It's actually e-mental health. There's two things I want to shoot out there just so we know the difference. eHealth it's an overarching term used to describe the application of information and communications technology in the health sector. It encompasses a whole range of purposes from purely administrative through to healthcare delivery. So electronic records, for instance, electronic recording. Whereas mental health, is mental health services and information delivered or enhanced through the internet and related technologies.
Thank you for clarifying.
I wasn't clarifying. I figured you know, you're a tech guy.
No, I had that wasn't. Wow. I was actually thanking you for clarifying, but okay.
I'm sorry, it's been a rough day, JR.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I didn't mean to.
That's cool.
I didn't mean it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I wanted to have a conversation today about mental health. And I'm using it right now, and it's working for me. It's working for me.
Is it?
It is. I've been on it for about 2 weeks.
And you can gauge how effective it is in 2 weeks, really?
Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I know just the user being able to use the applications. like how it's navigated. I use meditation applications. I have, and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this because I want to.
You're saying in 2 weeks you've been able to make a definitive or experience a definitive change in yourself. Like, let's be real here. Like when you're exercising your body, when you first start, it's what 8 to 12 weeks before you can see or notice any real changes. So you're saying that in 2 weeks you've had a change. That
yes, it only takes for when it comes to the medication you take. It only takes 2 weeks to notice a difference in your behaviors. So why can't the application, which is a form of medicine, see progress in 2 weeks?
I'm just asking you to back up what you're saying.
Yeah, I absolutely believe it because I'm engaged.
Okay.
I'm very, very engaged. And it's empowering. It's empowering to be able to take over my own mental health.
Okay.
I feel like patient or person empowerment, I should say, when it comes to the mental health community, there's kind of a Chinese wall between us and them.
Whoa. I want you to, what does that mean?
So the concept of a Chinese wall is kind of like there are things behind that wall that you don't know about. Like they don't necessarily share with you. You don't know what's going on in the background. I think I'm right. You're looking it up right now to prove me wrong.
I'm not looking it up. I'm letting you go out on the diving board in this one. You have a blast.
It's like if we worked for rival law firms, there'd be a Chinese wall between us where we couldn't discuss each other's cases when we're at home. Or if we were the defendant, the plaintiff and the defendant on a trial.
I think you've got this completely wrong. I think it's more regards to an information barrier.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, but I'm not saying it right. You're saying it right.
Okay, because I mean, I think it's more of an information.
Yeah, like
barrier.
It's us versus kind of them. They know what's going on, and they have the treatment options. You know, they've gone through school to learn things like cognitive behavioral therapy and DBT, etc. But we don't necessarily have the knowledge and the resources because we're depending on our doctors to tell us what to do and how to do it, how to get better. Now there's this whole new world that's been opened up, where as the patient, we're taking control. No longer do we have to just sit on a wait list waiting for a therapist space to open up for us. We have applications. We have social media. We have groups. We have things like the Big White Wall. Like it's a different time for mental health. That's what I feel like. E-health has provided us with something unique.
I was just waiting for you to say the information's available. That's it. That's it.
The information is available.
There was an information barrier, and now the information's available.
But I went on a tangent.
Pretty simple.
I went on one of Onika's
Yeah,
rants.
I'm like, what are you? Come on. Okay. Anyway, so the information's available, but now you need to find some sort of method or container to hold this information and provide it to you as an independent mental health user.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Okay. Now, how is it working for you?
So
back to the whole. It's been 2 weeks and it's all working for me. I want to know.
Okay.
So you're not even prepared. You're like,
of course I'm prepared. Stop it. So. First of all, I went through. I did my research online to see which apps were free because Onika's broke. That's just the bottom line. I'm broke. I have a job, but I'm broke. And so I wanted to see which applications were free, which were offered on Apple phones, of course, and as well as Androids. And there was only one that was had a cost per month and no trial period. So I think it was Mood Notes. And that was a mood diary that had to do with cognitive behavioral therapy methods. So I chose, I love this one, Super Better. It's like a game that you play. You do an objective. So mine was weight loss. And they give you quests every day. And you get power-ups. And so they'll do something like, the challenge will be get up and walk around your apartment.
Okay.
Or chug a glass of water. Or walk around the block.
Yep.
So every time you do those things, you get a power up, and then there would be another quest where you're getting rid of your, what I like to call stinking thinking. So they're trying to get rid of your negative thought patterns.
Okay.
So you just, it's the thing I love about the apps that I'm playing with and working with now, because there's several others that I'll talk about in a second, is that it's I'm active. It's giving me something to do. So I feel empowered by it. I feel like I'm in control of my mental health and the direction that it's going in. Like, sometimes, you don't always feel that way. And it's just, I don't know.
And is this one ultimately a paid for app?
No, this is a free app. So
it's
super better.
It's going to be free.
It's going to be free.
Okay.
They probably have a premium app. I haven't done anything for them to offer me premium yet. So, but it's free. It's been free so far for the last 2 weeks. Calm is not free. It's a 2-week trial.
Okay, and what's that one about?
So, Calm is basically a shit. Why am I blanking? What do I do with Calm? I have so many of them. What do I do with Calm? Meditation. So it teaches you about things like breathing. It teaches you about why you may have anxiety, how to relieve stress. There's a Matthew McConaughey. I listened to a Matthew McConaughey telling a bedtime story the other night.
Okay.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. There's music. So it's more of a meditation mindfulness app, and it's one of the most popular ones, actually. It was listed number 1 on the 2000, broken down to just a couple dollars a month.
Affordable.
Very affordable.
All right.
So this my favorite one, Super Better is one of my favorites, but Mood Path. This one does what Green Space did for me. It's a lot less questions, but it asks you just questions about your day 3 times a day, right? In the morning, you set the timer, so I get questions at 5 a.m., then I get questions in the afternoon, I think around 12:30, and then I get questions at 4:30. And it'll ask me what my mood is like. Am I feeling very happy, very sad? It's kind of like having a daily survey for your moods and your mental health. It's not even kind of like that. It is like that. And then I'm expecting a report. It should be coming in on Friday to see how I'm doing, which is what my former therapist used to do for me. So I'm really excited about that one.
What's the cost on that one?
That is no cost.
No cost.
That one is free.
Okay.
So the next one is Youper. I'm having challenges with Youper.
Okay.
Youper is, they call it an emotional health assistant. Here's the thing, and this is my least favorite. I liked it in the beginning, actually, because it did a kind of like a personality test, like if you're like extroverted. What was it? Extroverted discover, like, when they do those like different, it's gone now. It's not even on the app anymore, which is disconcerting. But I read through it and it did like a kind of a personality test for me. And, I learned a lot in the beginning, but then you have to pay. And I might actually do this because I want to see, what this is about. $12.99 a month.
Okay.
For Youper. And then you get all these like different services, and I'm going to tell you what they are. Sorry, it's on my cell phone, guys. So you get the mood tracker, the personality test. Those were free. Cognitive behavioral therapy techniques, mindfulness and meditations, journaling, intentions and gratitude, symptoms monitoring, insight and factor influencing your mood, and then they tell you the price, $12.99. So you get all of those when you hit the premium app.
Okay, so it's centralizing all the things that were in the other apps we've talked about.
Yes.
Okay.
And then finally, my absolute even more than super better speaks to the child in me. But I've been really focused in the last 72 days on meditation. I've been meditating minus 2 days, but I'm still counting them because I'm counting them. I had 52 days and then I skipped a day and I was so angry with myself. So now I'm up to day 20 again on my Muse application. And I've talked about Muse before. Didn't even think that it fell under mental health, but it does. It's teaching me a lot about meditation and mindfulness. And basically, it just reads your brainwaves. And here's the caveat. The app is free, but the headset costs between $179 and $350. But I was fortunate enough to get it from a friend. Shout out to Kim. Love you, girl. Hope you're listening. I was doing a research project with her, and she ended up giving it to me at no cost. So I was very, very, very lucky. But knowing what I know now about the application, or the app, sorry, I would pay that money to get this headset.
Okay.
I would definitely invest in Muse. So basically, and I think, as I said, I've mentioned it before, it reads your brain waves, and when your brain is active, I will hear the rainforest, because that's my preferred soundscape. I will hear the rainforest, and when it's completely calm, I will hear the birds of Eden, which is just chirping. The other day, I got 90% calm in my brain. It was first thing in the morning. I do it first thing in the morning when I wake up, and the last thing I do before I go to bed. So that one I can attest to, like, how much it's been working for me. I mean, I literally can't wait to go home and meditate after the day I've had. Some of the other apps that are available, Headspace, that's a meditation app. A lot of the meditation apps I find are free, but the apps that involve cognitive behavioral therapy, where you're actually dealing with a cognitive behavioral therapist or a mental health professional, they're at a cost. But in comparison to an actual in-person session, which costs anywhere from $100 to $250 per 50 minutes, you're not paying that much for the app.
Yeah, that's some good insight.
There's a particular app that's a repository. It's a website and an app. It's called Beacon. For the year, it costs $595. Now, initially, when I saw this, I thought to myself, well, that's a pretty penny, especially since I don't pay for my cognitive behavioral therapy. But I live in Canada, and most of these things for us are covered, fortunately. But if you're, any of our other listeners around the world, if you have an opportunity to check out Beacon, it has a whole repository of cognitive behavioral therapists, applications that you could use. It just gives you access, and it's one of the more, as I said, popular apps. You have to do an assessment. They'll do an assessment with you, and then they'll get back to you with a specific personalized cognitive behavioral therapist that you have access to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That sounds neat. And at a fraction of the cost. Yeah, that sounds good. Technology helping people.
But I had found some very interesting facts just about Canada in general. There are 25.5 million Canadian internet users.
Okay.
Nearly all of them go online daily.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
The reason I'm bringing up the fact is because there's an opportunity here for apps and technology to take over, and e-health to take over a little bit for people. Because, as we discussed earlier, there's long wait times. There's some challenges when it comes to having face-to-face therapy. I think the wait times is the biggest one that the applications could curb.
Okay, that makes sense.
But then, as I read on, I discovered that only 58% of low income families have access to internet, whereas 98% of families that have high income have access to internet.
Okay.
So
I don't know where you're going with this, because are you trying to tell me that the internet is a right?
oh no, it's a luxury, but it's a luxury that you need to access these apps.
Okay, yeah.
So you have low income families where there's, as I said, only 58% of them that can access mental health applications or maybe even mental health services. We don't know. Like mental health services.
Yeah, I see where you're going, but I don't like that. I don't see I don't like the correlation you're making. I mean, I think that low income families and the poverty challenges are a separate issue to mental. They are related, but not. I don't think they are the way that you're where you're going.
Where I'm going with it?
I disagree with that. Like, are you trying to say that only half of lower income families have access to mental health, and that's a problem? Like, what are you specifically saying?
I'm saying that, I mean, it's not, I don't want to say that it's a problem. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Because, I mean, if you're a family that's poverty stricken, you've got things that are higher on the concern list than internet, cell phones, tablets, computers. Like, you're probably more concerned about keeping the lights on, providing food, and a stable shelter. Like, you've got other things that are priorities. So the fact that we have these applications that are available, I think that's great. Can they be used to maybe reach out to? Can we use them as a tool to reach more people? Yes. Accessing these things at home may not be the solution, but there are. I know as a child, I spent a lot of time at the library, and there's computers there, and a lot of times if you're from a lower income family, you're going to use the library. There's times to block off sections, blocks of time to access the electronic tools, whether it's a tablet or a desktop computer. So I don't think that saying that there's a problem or saying that there's a concern with having access to these applications is something we need to look at. I don't think we do. I think we should continue to build these applications, because even if, for example, it gets to the point where you have a community center where there's a bunch of tablets where people just go in there, and there's a room that's been created for mental health, mental health stability and such. You can have youth go in that room, and they can use the tablets in that room that are supplied by the community center, and they can then access these applications there. The same way that they would applicate as a child. When I would access an encyclopedia at the library, and then I would access resources on the internet at the library. That can still occur for anybody. It's just having access would be the concern, and we do provide access through the public library systems and through the schools. We are providing access. So I would just say we need to continue to develop the applications. I mean, and provide the professionals the ability to reach these people, because now you can have a professional that is located in Nunavut, exactly. and they can have a patient that's in Barrie, and they can still develop a relationship, develop a bond, still have the communication, whatever. But you're not traveling to the office. They're not seeing each other physically, but they're still there to some degree, electronically. E-mental health. I think though I'm not a super techie person. Oh, sorry. There was one other thing, before I get to that point, there's one other thing I want to say about you, Brett. My concern with
the boom of these mental health apps, because it's boomed. There's thousands of them. Like you can't go on the internet and type in mental health app without finding a list of 25, a list of 30, a list of 10, a list of et cetera, et cetera. What I had found with a lot of them, because I use that top 10 list, and I will get back to the top 10. I'll just let you know what they all are, and most of them are free.
Or we can just link to it.
Or we can link to it. We can link to the article. It felt like, talking about artificial intelligence, I found that there's this one, and it's kind of like Youper, where there's a community. It's almost like a community of listeners, and the speed that they were typing at wasn't realistic to me.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, it was a computer. Like, it would be like, they'd have like icons, so like an emoji face or whatever. So a blue emoji, I feel sad. Red emoji, why? Like, and then it would be like send long, and it would be even longer sentences. There'd be like 3 or 4 emojis going at the same time, and they'd be typing so quickly. And I'm thinking to myself, this seems like a scam, because
sir, I don't think I caught the beginning of what you were looking at.
It was like an app that I wish I remember.
Was it a demo video of?
No,
something?
it wasn't a demo video. It wasn't a demo video. It was the actual app. I got access to the app right away. It was on a trial basis.
Okay.
And I could type. I had my username. I had everything. I set everything up, and I could type and join the conversation. But it was going so quickly that it made me feel like this is not. I don't think these are actual people that are on here.
So it's a chat room.
It's like,
which is what you said to some degree.
Yeah, I guess I've never been in a chat room. So is that what it looks like?
Yeah.
And then with Youper, they give you predetermined answers. So I tried to say something like, because every time you open Youper, it has this like little, hi, how are you doing today? Like a little text message back and forth. And it'll give you options. I feel good, or I want to meditate. And if I click I want to meditate, it'll say, well, unfortunately, you haven't subscribed to our application. This is where you go. So, so one time I said, I feel great. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. And then I clicked out of it, and I went back, and they said, how are you feeling? I said, I feel awful. I've had a really bad day. Oh, sorry to hear that. Like, it was like a predetermined answer.
What's the problem with that?
It didn't make me feel like someone was on the other end.
But someone's not on the other end right away. That's just from what you're describing. You're describing a landing screen for I hate having to explain things like this.
Just explain it, because I'm confused by it.
That's not the point. The point is it's a landing screen that has a pop-up that asks you a question, and based on the response to the question, it gives you a response. That's just automation. It's not telling you that you're talking to somebody right away. That's not the expectation.
No, I would feel like I should be talking to a person when I'm typing.
But you just said you weren't typing anything. You clicked the button.
Like I clicked on buttons.
Okay, so you're clicking on buttons. So based on the button you click, there's an automatic response. You haven't typed anything yet. You haven't had it. You're not having a unique conversation yet. You're not having a
Listen, I told you guys I wasn't good at technology. I did not know that. I thought I kept going back to it, and I'm
because basically they want you to pay for something at some point in this particular app, but you're clicking a button. So when you open the application, you click a button, you're going to get the response based on the button you pushed. I'm a little confused as to what your expectations were.
My expectations were that I was I was going to be speaking to a person. Right away.
But you haven't done anything to indicate that you want to speak to a person yet.
I think I'm gonna have to relook at Youper.
I'm just being logical here.
I didn't understand that. I honestly, I'm being super honest with you. I didn't get that I thought it was supposed to be a person that I was communicating with.
But you probably will get to a person, but you probably have to pay for it, one. And two, it's just the launch screen. You got to a launch screen, and it says... It gives you 3
saying
options.
Launch screen like I know what that means.
Okay, well, it's when you... let's see. You've put this thing in front of me, and that's all automated. Like, it's just basically everything that I'm saying.
Yeah, I wanted you to see what I was trying to explain was happening.
That's fine. This is all. That's just, they've designed the first screen when you open the app. They've designed it to look like a iMessage chat screen conversation, and it just spits out information, and then it gets to the bottom and it asks you, what do you think? So it's kind of simple. It's kind of like your website, where when you get to your website, it pops up and says, do you want to join my newsletter? And you type in your email and click submit. Like, that's the same premise as what that is there. You haven't done anything. You haven't gotten.
So I gotta pay the $12.99.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna pay the $12.99 because a mental health assistant sounds like something I could use.
Yeah, I mean, that's a demo. Like, they're essentially showing you what it's
going to look like and feel like when I actually sign up for it.
Anybody who plays video games, it's basically like a loading screen.
I don't play video games.
I'm trying to help people, give people an understanding of what's going on here.
Yeah, so it's not about me.
It's not about you.
It's not about me.
Okay, so yeah, if you're familiar with video games, it's like a loading screen that's giving you your mission or giving you a description of what's going on. If you're familiar with web pages, it's like when you launch a web page and there's a pop-up and then it says, oh, do you want to continue, yes or no? Or if there's some sort of landing page that asks you for your date of birth before you are allowed to enter it, you have to fill out some information before it allows you to enter. Mm-hmm. That's what's going on here. Anyway, continue.
So that was a knowledge bomb. I have to really go back and think about that because I feel ridiculous right now. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been wrestling with Youper, trying to figure out how to use it, not realizing that was the problem, that I just simply had not paid for it yet.
Yeah, as a technology professional, typically most problems are user problems.
Definitely user issues. Yeah. User issues.
Because as you've said, you don't like to read things, right? And then you stuck it in my face while we're doing this podcast. So I'm actually reading it while I'm creating my thought. And I'm like, oh, no, she didn't read this. Okay, cool. Now we have to figure out how to explain this.
Yeah, we have to figure out what's going on. I guess the last form, my mom has this one, is the Fitbit.
Yeah, I saw that she has one. Yeah,
she has a Fitbit and she loves it. It does her heart rates, her sleep patterns, and tracks her steps. And that's another, form of mental health, is any wearable technologies like that.
Really?
Yeah, because it like things like your diet, like the apps that are wearable
really?
mental health.
So we're just lumping anything that's mental health now. We're just lumping it in.
No, it actually is. I'm not lumping it in. Because you have to sometimes to know about the psychological, you have to know about the physiological. That's okay to think about.
Okay.
Your sleep habits. My doctor went over with me the whole concept of circadian rhythm and what my sleep habits were doing to my mental health. So if I have something that's wearable that tracks that for me, so I can get a better rhythm.
Okay, so then I would say that these devices are multi-purpose. I wouldn't strictly put them under
fair
under that category.
Fair. So there are many resources out there right now when it comes to mental health. Some of the apps that I've been tinkering around with, they've really genuinely made a difference. And just check some of them out. They usually have a free trial period of 1 to 2 weeks, and then they have the low cost subscription fee. So check some of them out, see what you think. If you have any questions about anything related to IT, related to mental health and apps, clearly I can't explain them to you, but JR absolutely can. So,
oh no, don't. He's
like, don't put me in that position.
Don't email me. Don't email me any tech questions. Don't. They will not get answered.
They will not get answered.
They will not get answered.
I'll have to figure it out and answer the questions myself then.
If you have tech questions, email the person that made the tech that you have a question about. That's probably the best.
That's probably the best
answer.
the best solution.
You have a question about an application you're using? Take a look at the FAQ for that application, or email the developer.
Okay, gotcha. With that said, that has been the dish of the day. JR, if they want to say hi to us, let them know how they can reach us.
Absolutely. You can reach Onika at dysh, dysh, at daintydish.com. That's DAINTYDYSH.com. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts,
Give us a 5, you deserve a 5.
thank you. We truly appreciate you. Thanks for subscribing. If you're listening to us on YouTube, SoundCloud, or any other your favorite podcast platform, thank you so much for listening. We truly appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for the emails. We truly appreciate them. They are absolutely full of encouragement, and we thank you so much for them. That's it for me.
As I said, that has been the dish of the day, and I hope y'all have yourselves a very, very, very happy hump day.